This is my go-to sourdough focaccia recipe. It is versatile and you can add any inclusions you want. For today's video, I decided to make a breakfast-inspired focaccia. It has some maple bacon and some cheddar cheese. You will start by adding 125 grams of active sourdough starter, 400 grams of filtered water. I decided to warm up the water so the fermentation can speed up a little bit more, but you can use room temperature water as well. I add 500 grams of flour, 10 grams of salt, and 15 grams of olive oil. You will mix everything together until well combined, making sure that there are no pockets of flour left over. I do like to use a rubber bench scraper to clean the sides of the bowl because this dough is very sticky and wet. It will get stuck to the bowl, and we want a clean dough dump, and we don't want to waste any of the dough staying stuck on our bowl. A little tip is to wet your rubber bench scraper, that way the dough doesn't stick to it as well, and it'll be easier to just clean the bowl and everything else. So this is what the dough looks like. We let the dough rest for an hour and then we start on our first set of stretch and folds. We grab our dough, we pull it, fold it over. We do this 4 times going around the bowl, and as many of you know, I like to grab my dough, flip it over, and do a few slap and folds. As soon as the dough starts to keep its shape a little bit, you want to stop because this dough can tear very easily, and then you will just start all over and it'll be a shaggy mess. This is what it looks like, and after 30 minutes, we repeat the same thing, pulling on the dough, folding it over, and then I like to flip the dough over to make sure that I am strengthening the dough from everywhere and not just from the top. You can see that the dough is starting to come together nicely. It's not as wet and shaggy. It's smoothing it out and it looks very nice, and it's keeping its shape. Now we wait 30 minutes and we do our third set of stretch and folds. For the third and the fourth set, we will only do coil folds. You don't want to stretch the dough like in the first and second set because the dough is starting to rise, and you want to be more gentle, especially because this dough is higher hydration than the normal and it could tear very easily, so you want to be very gentle. Coil folds are perfect and you don't have to overwork the dough. It looks nice and jiggly. It's starting to get some bubbles on the surface. And by the fourth set, you can see that the dough is super smooth. It's aerated, it's fluffy, it's starting to rise even more. And this is gonna be our last set. Now you let the dough bulk ferment on the counter, and then once it's done bulk fermenting, you will put it in the refrigerator for a cold proof. You don't have to do a cold proof if you don't want to, but I decided to do so. So I left it in the refrigerator overnight, and then in the morning I went ahead and took the dough out for about an hour and a half. That way it can come to room temperature before adding the inclusions. I used a 9x9 baking dish. You can use a 9x13 if you'd like. I don't have any bigger sizes than this one, and it always works out perfect. I get a taller focaccia, which makes it very nice for sandwiches. So I truly recommend you using a 9x9 if you want a taller type of focaccia, and do line it with parchment paper if you do a honey or maple like I am doing today, because the dough will stick to the pan. So I have cheddar cheese, I baked my bacon, and I added a little bit of maple syrup on top after baking. And then I'm adding some olive oil to the bottom of the pan and on the dough. And now I'm adding the cheddar cheese and some of that bacon. Since I'm adding bacon, I did mention that I let the dough come to room temperature before adding any of these inclusions because I didn't want the bacon to be sitting out for too long for the second rise, and it worked out perfect. But if you're not going to use bacon, you could just do the following steps right after taking the dough out of the refrigerator. Once I added my dough into the pan and added the inclusions, it took an additional 2.5 hours to get nice and fluffy and puffy and aerated. So as you can see here, I put some of the inclusions on top of the dough and then I folded one side towards the middle, added more inclusions, and then folded the other side on top of that middle section. And now I am flipping the dough upside down. That way I can add inclusions on the top before baking. So here I'm fixing the dough, kind of flattening it down just a little bit. That way the dough can be evenly distributed. I want this dough to touch the top of the pan. I want it to be leveled out to it. And that's when I know that my dough is ready to be baked. And you will see the difference right now of how much the dough grew. So look at that difference. You can see how much this dough rose. It's basically at the level of the pan. And now I'm ready to dimple it. So I'm adding a little bit of olive oil on top of this dough and then I'm going to dimple it. So the oven is preheated at 450 degrees and I decided not to add the bacon and all of the cheese just yet because I don't want the bacon to turn into little burnt chunks of bacon, and the cheese I didn't want it to burn as well. So I added just a little bit of cheese right now, and then after 15 minutes I do add that bacon and more cheese. Look at that jiggle. It looks so puffy and it's so beautiful. So you can add flaky sea salt here or any inclusions you want. You bake for 15 minutes and then I added some of the inclusions on top. And then I kind of turned the dough from the front to the back, if that makes sense. That way it can bake evenly. And then I baked it for another 15 minutes at 425 degrees. I did make sure that the focaccia was between 205 and 210 degrees Fahrenheit before taking it out of the oven. I warmed up a little bit of that maple syrup and added it right on top to give it that shiny look. And this is what the crumb looks like. It's super fluffy, it's super soft, and it's baked to perfection. Any inclusion on this focaccia is delicious. You can even cut pieces of the focaccia as you can see here, cut it horizontally and make some sandwiches. This is so delicious. I ate some of this with a cup of coffee in the morning and it just hit the spot. It was so good, but you can definitely add any inclusions that you want. This is the base recipe for the focaccia, so I want to thank you so much if you made it to the end, and I'll see you guys in my next video.